guys, it's Leslie and I'm back with some more art tips. Today I want to talk to you about brush strokes. Now, we went through the differences in watercolor brushes, and I'll put a little card up here that'll link to that video. But I want to talk to you about a little bit more about using your brushes and using the brush strokes to get different kind of textures and techniques. There's basically 3 different types of bristles that you can get. There is sable, which is super soft, very absorbent, and great for watercolor. There's nylon, which is, this is what's it called? This is called an oval. This is called a round. Okay, and this is a flat. This is also nylon. These both are nylon. Nylon tends to be used, you can use it for watercolor, tends to be used for acrylic a lot. You can use it for oils as well. Nylon tends to be the cheaper alternative. And it's great for acrylics because acrylics can really wreck your brushes. Oil painters and watercolorists, in my experience, tend to move towards sable for detail. This is also a nylon bristle, but this is replicating hog's bristles, which are actually the hair that grows out of a pig's ear. Surprise! Real hog's bristle is pig ear hair, but these are synthetic hog bristles, okay? And these are really rough. These are generally used for acrylic and oil, and they are often used more for thicker applications. If you want to do thin glazes in acrylic, a nylon or a sable is better. The same with oil. If you want to add thick and textured strokes, then these are a better option. Okay, but you can use these in watercolor to get different effects. Okay, there's also this kind of brush, which is a Chinese calligraphy brush, which I unfortunately ruined. I don't use these often because I can't handle them very well. Actually, they kind of mop around like this one's got a hard piece in it, so it's not gonna work accurately. But here, just to you can get a little bit of a point on it, but then when it flattens out, it just mops. And I mean, that's great for Chinese calligraphy and for like strokes. And this is what I'm getting at. I'm gonna jump right in then. Traditionally, we come from painting that generally has a filling in aspect to it. So you have an outline, you have a drawing, and you mix up your color, and then you fill in an area, you fill in a square. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you add a little bit of some rendering color, or you wet it, or you have a glaze or something. But generally speaking, most of us approach any kind of painting with a filling in the object kinds of sensibilities. And there's a lot more to painting than just that, especially when you get into allowing the brush to do kind of its own work. Like a round brush, especially nice big fat round brushes. Here, let's get a really fat one. Let's mix up a nice purple or something. Now, look at this brush that can create these beautiful strokes. These are giant strokes. They're very organic. But instead of filling in an object, I'm allowing the brush to have its own voice, so to speak, with how much. Notice how I'm holding it? I moved from this into an Asian kind of upright hold because it really does impact how your bristle touches the paper and what kind of strokes you make. Okay, now any kind of organic area, shadows, ferns, you know, all of that kind of stuff can be described much better and more interestingly by allowing a brush stroke to render that area as opposed to filling it in as a mass. You can also work wetly and then quickly pick up more paint and allow the paint to work for you, to create visual interest and value changes and contrast. Okay, so that's not filling in, right? Like I'm not filling in a box area. I'm allowing the strokes to create the texture. I'm allowing the brushes to create the... Okay, let's go. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's just see what other strokes, like what does a flat sable do? Let's find out. Okay, now that's a beautiful dry brush. Okay, so that's a sable flat. Let's use, nylon is gonna work very similarly. 9 minutes. Ugh. Oops. Okay. Check out this. Oh, that's not as interesting as I thought. Check out this! Wah wah. Okay, this is a very rough. There we go. There's some dry brush, eh? But look at, like, if we scrub too, you can scrub that. Okay, nothing's gonna help you make that mark in watercolor except for a dry bristled brush. You can actually bruise the paper doing that, which is fine. Bruise the fucking paper, who cares, right? Bruise it. But look at that, like nice foggy shapes. Add water to it, blend it out more. Just use the tools that are around without filling in. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to fill it in. Let them describe the area. Let them describe your texture. Here's another scumble. That scumble, that's what Scumbling is when you take kind of a dryish brush and you texture it over an area. That's scumbling. It's got to be a bit dryish. See, that's another kind of neat texture as well. All very organic. And these are synthetic hog's bristles. And also experiment with these strokes on already damp paper, which means that they're not going to end up being defined, right? They'll end up with much softer edges. Okay, so that's just all I wanted to show you, was not filling in boxes, but expanding with your brushes to use them in a more dynamic, kind of a painterly way. Okay? Great. Show me what you're doing. I'd love to see. Let me know if you want me to do other tips, different mediums, other materials. I'd love to do that. All right, thanks for watching. See you guys later.